longest end credits ever. This film, and the end credit scene isn't even worth staying for. And just let you know that straight away. Don't stay to the very end of the credits. You're going to be disappointed, and you're probably going to miss your bus and have to walk home like I did. Venom 1 and 2 I borderline hated because I just do not like the goofy direction they've taken this character with the Tom Hardy portrayal of it. So if you hated the first two films, don't even bother with 3 because the same goofy humor is there. And it didn't make me want to rip my face off this time because I was just completely expecting it. But it's still there, and it still makes you roll your eyes because you just can't help but think of all the wasted potential when you're watching Venom dancing around with Mrs. Chen or, you know, just doing all the other goofy shit that they do. I gotta say though, the first 2 acts of this film, surprisingly, really boring. Eddie Brock and Venom are traveling across the country. It's a road trip film, I guess. And random shit. That's all this film is for the first 2/3 of it. They're on the plane, they fall off, they land in a desert. Eddie Brock constantly keeps losing his shoes, which is a recurring gag in the film. And then there's the bit with the Venom horse, and then there's a Venom fish, and then a Venom frog. Then they get picked up by Arisa fans and their family. They're on the extraterrestrial highway because they're a bunch of hippies who want to see some aliens. Meanwhile, Chiwetel Ejiofor is back at this secret Area 51 base, and there's some workplace comedy there with the other scientists whilst they're looking at the symbiotes and talking about the darkness and the end of days that are coming. And there's that doctor character who has that flashback to being struck by lightning that also killed her brother. What? The story, the plot, it just feels thrown together. And it's a film where things happen purely for the sake of things happening. And the overall purpose of this film, I guess, is to introduce Null, which, by the way, 2 minutes of screen time, if that. So if you're excited for Null, don't be excited because that's all this film is. It's a big drum roll to a character you never meet. It's another franchise film, another cinematic universe film that exists purely to set up a character or another film that's coming out once again. And the climax of the film is a CGI shitfest. It's CGI creatures fighting each other and all the CGI explosions and towers falling over. Risa Fan's family, for some reason, comes back and they force them as the damsels in distress in the film's climax. Just... There's a part of me that does want to give the film credit for treating the stakes of the story somewhat seriously in that climax. There's not a lot of the goofy humour when all the shit's going down. And they tried to do an emotional, tear-jerking ending with Eddie and Venom, which did not work for me as somebody who hated the first 2 films. But if you enjoy the first 2 films, all the power to you, you might enjoy this ending. And to be honest, as much as they promoted this as the final Venom film, I completely expected this to be just another Venom film. This actually does have a feeling of finality to it, so I'll give it credit there. But the credit ends there. Overall, Venom: The Last Dance is another atrocious Venom film, and I just failed to see what the point of this entire trilogy was. Was it to set up Spider-Man 4? Because what else are they setting up Null for? They're not doing Venom 4. He's not going to be a villain in Morbius 2 or anything, so Spider-Man 4 with Tom Holland, probably going to be Spider-Man King in Black. So yeah, Sony made an atrocious Venom trilogy just to set up one film. Love seeing that. If you liked Venom 1 and 2, you might like Venom 3. I say might because some people who liked 1 and 2 did not like 3, so just saying. But if you hated 1 and 2, don't bother with 3. Really is as simple as that. Can we get a serious Venom film now, please? One that takes the characters seriously? Please?